We're only 5 minutes late, so that's not too bad. And these.
We're live.
Yeah, we're live. Yeah, I'm just gonna
Cool.
do my social media thing, and then we will get going. How are you today, sir? Anyway.
I'm doing all right, dude. Like I've just been running errands in the morning, and I'm printing a whole bunch of stuff right now for people. Um, just ever since I got this like 3D printer, everybody's just been all over asking me to print their stuff. You know, like everybody could design, but not everybody has the printer.
Yeah. I know the
So
score.
like, it's actually kind of nice. Like in a way, like people are designing things and sending them my way, and they're kind of paying me back for my printer, which is kind of nice.
That's one way you got to pay for it. Right,
Yeah.
let's get the show on the road. People are starting to roll in, which is always nice. So hi, hello. What was that? Hi, I'm Tom, and I run Sorenzo Props, and this is Sorenzo Meets, where I attempt to interview different cosplay and prop people from all around the world. Today, I am joined from sunny California by Mr. Igor Pinski, who runs Mr Pinski Props. Say hello, Igor.
How's it going, everybody?
So we're going to spend the next hour or so chatting about props, about cosplay, about making stuff, probably some other random stuff along the way. Generally the way I work it is I talk for a wee while, asking questions, and if you have some questions that you would like to ask Igor, you can ask them through the Q&A app, and we'll see about getting to them towards the end of the show. So I think when I was in California, and we spent a couple of hours chatting, but there's still more that I want to know. So hopefully we'll get to the bottom of that. So I suppose my first question is going to be, who the fuck are you and what do you do?
Whoa, there it is. That's the question. Who am I? I'm a guy that likes to make stuff. I don't know if you could see behind me over there.
Room looks awesome.
That's my ridiculous collection of just stuff that I have made, I don't know, over the past probably 6-7 years. And for I have this weird obsession with whenever I get a commission, I kind of want one too. And I end up running out of space with the things that I make. So that's kind of where I keep it. I don't know if you could see on the wall behind me, there's that really big gun over my TV.
Yep.
And if you can look by the door there, I have a rocket pack hanging over there, and my whole apartment's getting just jammed. I'm becoming a prop hoarder a little bit. Yeah, so I'm running out of space pretty quick. But originally, I started making costumes for myself, just doing Halloween stuff. And I started posting them on Facebook because I like to show off. And that was really just for my friends to see. And hey guys, look what I did. I'm a professional nerd now. And then people started sharing my stuff, and which was kind of cool in a way. And it started off with really little small things that other people wanted, and that kind of snowballed in on itself to the point where I had to quit my job because my hobby was getting in the way of work, and frankly it was just making me more money than my actual job. So I quit my job and I made it legal.
Awesome. So when did you actually start putting stuff on Facebook? Or when did Mr Pinski Props appear? Was it just you sharing your sort of personal photographs on your personal page, and then?
Sort of, yeah. So when I originally did it, it was just off of my personal Facebook, sharing with my friends. I had a very, very small list of friends at that point, and it was all people that I know in real life, So I was sharing with them. That was the first costume I made was the Jack Sparrow costume from the third movie that they made.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the first time I'd ever made anything costume related. I'd never made my own Halloween costume. So I spent 6 months making that and just showing off little pieces to people. I made a hat and I made a wig, and I made a vest and some other stuff. And you know, when I was all finished with it, I ended up entering a costume contest at like some random nightclub that we went to, and I won, which was kind of cool. And then I had this bright idea, like, well, that was really fun. Let's make another one next year. And I made another one, and then I made another one, and I kept posting them, and people started requesting pieces from the costumes because for what I don't know, kind of how it worked out, but I started making just Johnny Depp costumes for some reason, like because he's awesome, you know. So I ended up doing that. I did the Mad Hatter. I don't know if you could see the hat back there. There's yeah, there's the Mad Hatter hat. I made that afterward, and I think it was at the point where I made my Mad Hatter costume that I made a fan page. So I made this fan page, which got all of like 20 fans, which was kind of cool, and they're all my friends, you know. So that was really fun. So rather than posting on my personal page, I posted on that, like nobody cared. And then at one point, I had this idea to do the Judge Dredd helmet. That's what I really wanted to do, because when I was a kid, I loved Stallone's movie. I know like a lot of people talk shit about that movie, but I really liked it. Whatever, I don't care. So
we won't judge you just yet.
yeah. So I really liked it, and then you know I was like, oh, they're coming out with another Dredd, but you know, why not make one for myself? Like it could be fun to make this costume. I had never really done like a full head to toe outfit with like armor and a gun and like all this stuff. So I decided I would try that. So I made the Judge Dredd helmet, which was pretty cool. And then like the fan page kind of started to grow a little bit. And after that, I decided that I would also make the Lawgiver, which is also up there. It's just black, so you probably can't see it. But I made that, and after I made that, I keep forgetting. I think it was called Easy Cosplay, which there was like nothing easy about this cosplay, but they shared my picture of the work in progress of the Lawgiver that I was doing, and it was like it was covered in the brown primer, so it looked like a chocolate gun, which was kind of fun. And they shared that, and just one day my page grew to 1,000 likes in like 3 days, which was like ridiculous to me. I was like, wow, okay, so this was my big break. Like somebody saw something I liked, they liked it too, they shared it, and now other people are liking it. So that was cool. And then it's really kind of just been like I just started making what I wanted to make, and you know, lucky for me, people dig the stuff that I like too. So I get to make all this stuff, and that's been working out pretty well. So that's kind of, I don't know. I really just got into it just to make costumes for myself, because the stuff that I like, nobody really sells it. So if that's the case, you have to make it yourself, right?
Awesome. Yeah, no, totally. Because that was kind of my second and third questions about how you actually got started out. And it's interesting to hear that you're one of the people that happened to sort of by accident. Because I had somebody talking to me earlier today asking about what sort of route to take to do this sort of thing. And I told him that the best thing to do was obviously to make sure you have something to pay the bills with. And then if it comes to a point that your prop work is, you know, taking up too much time and you could make enough money to survive on, then see about going professional with it. So it's awesome to hear that happen. I touched on this. What sort of obstacles did you encounter? Sort of going from the hobby side of things into business, running a business, because making props is pretty straightforward. You know what to do. Occasionally you mess up. But running a business, there's a lot to it. Well, I found there was a lot to it. So what sort of obstacles did you encounter?
Probably, well, like you said, it's all well and good to make stuff that's fun. As soon as you have to do the stuff that's not fun, that's when it really kind of starts to suck. Probably the worst thing in the world is taxes, as far as I'm concerned. You know, we go through a year and we make stuff. To make stuff, what do we need? We need to buy stuff to make stuff with, right? So we save all our receipts. By the end of the year, we've got like 300, 400, 500, 600 receipts, and we need to count them because obviously we haven't been doing that all year. We've been putting that stuff in a box somewhere, and you know, just we've been really responsible by saving them. We just haven't been counting them, and that probably would have made things easier on us. But once a year, we have to spend about a day or two sitting down at a desk organizing all these pieces of paper, and then we have to count them all and figure out what we spent. And then after we figure out what we've spent, we have to kind of sit there and cry about it a little because we never realize how much money we actually spend on raw materials. You know, it's just one of those things, like you think you're balling out of control when, you know, you're making stuff and people are buying it from you, and then you're like, I thought I made more than that. You know, like I was pretty sure I made more money, but okay, maybe I didn't. But whatever, it's fine. I at least got to pay my rent and, you know, feed myself all year, so that was pretty good. And I have really cool toys to show for it. That's kind of nice too. But yeah, probably the worst thing is taxes. You know, that sucks. But you know, I don't know. Maybe something a little bit worse is when, for whatever reason, you have a week that you just don't get a like, you don't get an order, and you just want to, like, I don't know, kind of like hold your head in your hands for a little while. You know, it's tough. It's tough. Like, if, you know, my biggest piece of advice to like anybody that wants to do this, just, you know, honestly, before jumping in head first, do it for yourself, and just make stuff that you like to make and keep your day job. Honestly, that's probably the biggest thing. And yeah, like you said, like once it starts to go your way and you feel comfortable quitting your job, if you really want to do that, you know, by all means go for it. Like when I did it, it was probably the scariest thing I've ever done. You know, like I'm leaving a 100% paycheck. I'm leaving that for just maybe somebody will like the next toy that I make and want to buy one too. It's, you know, it's a big thing to go through. And as you know, there's that whole aspect, but then there's also, you have to figure out all this legal stuff. There's so much legal stuff. It's crazy. And I didn't know any of it. And to be honest, I still probably don't know half of it.
I don't want to know most of it, to be perfectly honest. Ignorance.
Yeah, I pay people that tell me what to pay for, which is pretty insane. But that's, you know, I don't know. It just kind of comes with it, I guess.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, I regularly, like, I think maybe twice, maybe 3 times a year, I will cry. And it's not because of something went wrong in the workshop. It's because of business stuff, which it takes so much getting used to. I don't think I'll ever get used to running a business. Making things easy. Business, not so much.
Yeah.
One of the biggest assets that I have, but also one of the biggest burdens, is my workshop, because I have a shared workspace here that I share in other companies, and like the facilities are fantastic. And I don't think I would have been successful if I wasn't surrounded by those folk and if I hang out the workshop. But equally, it's like the biggest cost that I have. I know we touched earlier on last week when we spoke about your workspace, but I want to know more about your workspace and how you work and what you've sort of got set up to make all the awesome things that you make.
Well, my workshop's a little bit different. I am really lucky to have awesome parents that are totally chill with me making things and that being my obsession. You know, when I started making stuff, I was living with my folks, and at one point I started making things with spray paint and chemicals and all kinds of weird stuff that didn't consist of, like, you know, just, you know, needle and thread, some leather and some fabric. I actually had to use Bondo and use resin and fiberglass and things that stink. So I started working in their backyard, and I made a complete mess of it. Over time, I started building my own areas in their yard, because I was still living with them, to make the space just cleaner in general so that I can organize stuff and they could still live there, you know. And probably, what's it been now, like 6 years or something, I have like a full shop that just doesn't have a roof in their backyard. Like I have sheds all over their backyard, and everything's organized and everything's really nice. Like I just built myself a new tool shed, and my shed is 8 feet tall and it's 4 feet wide and it's like 2.5 feet deep, and it houses almost every tool that I have, which is fantastic. The only thing it doesn't house is my molds and all the rest of that stuff. And I have another shed that's just dedicated to molds, and it's full. Like molds take up a lot of room, so I have that going on. And just recently I purchased a 3D printer, and now that's at my apartment. I have Bill to thank for that. Just watching him kind of 3D design and 3D model and 3D print kind of like gave me the kick in the ass I needed to finally buy my own 3D printer and learn how to do this. It's not easy. You know, yeah, like originally when when like 3D printing became like the thing for props and everybody that was actually like a maker by hand, I was like, oh, this sucks. Like they just came out with something that takes away everything that I've worked for. That's horrible. You know, and also I considered it cheating. And then I tried to learn how to 3D model, and I couldn't. And then it was like, okay, well, you know, that just means I need a new skill set. So I started trying to learn that, and I set up a space in my apartment, which, you know, it was my work desk when I was going to school, doing my homework and stuff like that, and I don't go to school anymore. So it's like where I keep my my 3D printer, my computer. What I have there, I have a micrometer on the wall. I have a couple rulers on the wall, some scissors. Like I do like my small intricate stuff, and like I do like some, you know, some like basic lighting, that type of thing. I bring it over to my apartment and I do it on my desk. So I work for my folks. I have my workshop there, and I also have my small little workspace in my apartment where I do like my clean work, you know, where it's not horrible. The nice thing about PLA is that when it's actually melting, it kind of smells like pancakes a little bit, so that's not too bad.
It does, yeah. It's sugar based.
Mm-hmm.
It's all natural, which is good for the environment, and it does smell really, really sweet, which is kind of nice. Yeah, because you told me about, I was like so jealous, because my workshop is like a cave with no heating, and it's constantly 0 degrees, and you're just like, yeah, I'm just chilling outside in my workshop. It's just like, I hate you. Well, I'm jealous.
You know, sometimes it's cold in California. Sometimes.
Trust me, it's not cold. You guys don't know the meaning of the word cold.
All right, I'll give that one to you. But I will say it rained yesterday. I didn't get to work.
Yeah, I missed the rain. I was quite thankful for that.
That's probably the one big advantage to a roof. When it rains, you can still work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it rains all the time.
I don't have one, so when it rains, I'm not working. But now I can be 3D modeling and 3D printing when it's raining. So
there you go. So you can be working. Just
yeah. You know, like you know, when you're a workaholic, you figure out ways to keep productive, even though you can't really work. So I've figured out a new way to be even more productive and also keep busy, which like I really need to keep busy, right? Like I need a day off sometimes, and like on my days off, I'm still 3D designing, which is
No, I get bored. I take some time off. I'm kind of like itchy. I want to do something, or I'm thinking about something that I could be posting about, or could be talking about, or could be writing about, or could be making. So yeah, it's good to keep busy, keep you out of trouble.
Mm-hmm.
I know we touched on it, but I'm not sure if you can talk about it. But what are you currently working on, or you may have finished it by now?
Man, yeah, we talked about the robot. I was building a this like made an instructable about it. Like it's totally not like a thing. I talked to him, and he was fine with me sharing it. The thing is, I don't really know his gamer tag, or maybe that's what you call it. I don't know, but I don't know it. But I made it for somebody that streams video gameplay on YouTube, and I think he does it on Twitch too. I think that's the other place that he does it on. And I built this robot helmet because he wants to do face streams as a robot, which is, that's cool. So I literally just finished it. There it is. That's the robot. So I literally just finished it like a week ago, and I shipped it yesterday. I made a crate for it, and it's on its way to Canada right now. And hopefully it'll be on the internet in like a week or two. But that's what I just finished up. And he wants 2 different versions of that thing. So I'm going to be making a kind of like a cleaner, chromed out version, which is another thing that he wants. Like that one was supposed to look old and a little bit beat up and weathered, and that's why it's got like some rust stains on it, metal thing. And the new one's going to have like a chrome muzzle on it, and it's going to be different colors. It'll be really cool.
Excellent. Yeah, we talked about that at length, and it's really, really cool project. It's also probably one of the first times I've seen a prop artist be approached by somebody who wanted an original design and then actually to go ahead with it, because I know you've experienced, and most prop artists have experienced, getting the email going, "Hi, I'm an electronic musician and I want to get a helmet to further my career. How much for an original design?" And I usually just give them a stupid number because they never can cough up. But yeah, it's cool to see an original design coming out. Really, really nice stuff.
Yeah.
Dead air. What else are you working on? I know you've got potentially got a costume in the works.
Yeah. So my other, like, I'm kind of doing something that I've more or less shied away from ever since I built like my first costume, which was, I don't really like, I try to stay away from anything Disney. That's really like my thing. I'm trying not to, but this one I'm kind of just building for myself. Hopefully they won't be too upset with me after I finish it. But I'm going to be doing a Kylo Ren costume for myself, which, like, I don't know why you're not Kylo Ren. You're like 9 feet tall. That's like ridiculous. you should be Kylo Ren. I don't know. He's like a big dude though, like everybody's like, you're going to be a weird looking Kylo Ren. You're, like I'm 5'10", I'm not horribly short, but I'm going to put on some boots, maybe with a little heel on it. Maybe I'll get to 6 feet tall. I don't know. We'll see.
That's what Bill does for his Destiny costume. He's got like motorcycle boots that have got like a 2-inch sort of step in them. Yeah, so it makes him a couple of inches taller.
Yeah, I'm not going to be a foot taller. Like I know that, but at least I'll get close to 6 feet. And actually, I didn't get to show it to you, but I brought you my buckle. I gave you one of those, but I'll show you my helmet real quick.
Yeah, Igor made he's 3D designed Kylo Ren's belt buckle, and then 3D printed it, and then molded and cast it, and he gave me one when I was in LA, and it's still in my suitcase, which hasn't been unpacked. So I'm gonna have to pull that out soon and share a picture of it because it looks freaking awesome. Cold cast, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a cold cast piece, so hopefully you'll have some fun with it. And if you feel like it, you can also rust it because it's got iron in it too, so you can.
That's exactly what I was thinking about. Yeah.
Do some fun stuff.
I might be taking some influence from you and many others and delving into the Kylo Ren territory, because I'm sorry, he's just too cool a character. I know Disney hate the line of work that we do, but he's just too cool.
Yeah. So a little while ago, I think it was Hasbro that came out with the Black Series stuff for what was it, for Star Wars, and they started selling Kylo Ren lightsabers. They started doing Kylo Ren helmets, and I managed to get one for pretty cheap, and I modified it quite a bit. Like, this thing originally came as a 2-piece helmet, and it also had a voice changer in it. And I ended up gutting the interior, so no more goofy electronics inside. Changed the whole faceplate on this guy, so that's a new, actually accurate faceplate to what he has. And it used to be 2 pieces, now it's 1 piece. And also I added this guy all the way around it because the flare that comes on it is not quite wide enough.
Yeah.
So I added the flare to it too.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it ended up being a pretty cool piece. But these things they're injection molded when they're made, and injection mold plastic is not fun to work with because nothing sticks to it. So that was a really hard thing to figure out. I've never kit bashed anything before. It is like to this extent. So this was a new territory for me, but it ended up turning out really cool. And I mean, honestly, for $60, that's great. I couldn't have scratch built it for cheaper, you know. And I think I probably would have ended up spending more money chroming this small piece than it cost to do this entire helmet.
So did you get that chromed? What's the finish on the
It's chrome.
It is chrome, yeah.
Yeah, but they come like that from Hasbro.
Ah, okay. So you just didn't touch that, yeah.
Yeah, isn't that awesome? The only thing that I did to it was weather it because it's like perfect chrome when it comes, and Kylo Ren's helmet is far from perfect.
Yeah, totally.
So I ended up making it dirty and weathering it. It ended up being a really, really cool piece. I'm like super stoked about that. But I'll, you know, now that I'm on your show here and people are going to see this, hopefully I'll actually make this message. I'm not making any more of these. This one's mine, and it's not going anywhere. And I've had a lot of questions on, can you make me one, or can you mold that, or can I send you one and you could do that to mine? No, no. This one's mine, and this is the only one I'm making.
Other Kylo Ren helmets are available.
Yes, there's other guys that make them.
And there's some doing a really good job.
I'm not one of them. I'm not one of them, though. But you could totally see me wearing it somewhere, maybe, if you like go to one of the conventions I'll be at. I'm hoping that I'll have the whole costume done for WonderCon this year. So maybe I'll be able to wear it. It's WonderCon's always Easter weekend.
Oh, okay.
The only thing, though, I think Easter weekend jumps around every year. I don't know why. So sometimes it's in March, sometimes it's in April.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty
So I'm not sure. But Easter weekend for sure. Hopefully I'll get it done in time, and I'll be able to wear this thing there. If not, I'll definitely be wearing it to San Diego.
Awesome.
For sure, San Diego, maybe to Wonder. But if you do catch me at WonderCon, I'll actually be dressed up as Peter Pan because that's something I've always wanted to do. So I just finished up my Peter Pan a little while ago, and my buddy Chad Ebbett helped me out with that. We worked on the costume together, and I made Pan's sword, which is just, I've wanted this costume since I was like 6, 7. I've wanted it since I was a kid, and now I get to do it. So
I'm gonna show that because I love it.
Oh my god, that picture's so ridiculous.
It's amazing.
So ridiculous.
Your hair like that, dude.
That picture is so ridiculous. Like that was, and I think I took that picture like, I don't know, like 11 or 12 o'clock at night after I got it from Chad, and I had to try it all on. The sword's been hanging on my wall for months, and I love looking at it. And then as soon as I got that, like I had to put it on in the privacy of my own home. And as soon as I put it on in the privacy of my own home, I made it very public. You know, I was like, this will be a secret just for me. And then I took a picture and posted it. I don't know why I did that, but there it is. So if you do see me, I'll be running around like that at one of the conventions pretty soon.
So one costume you'll be nice and comfortable and aerated. Another one you'll be a ball of sweat.
Oh, dude, that's my only like costume that'll actually be comfortable. You know, Probably my two most uncomfortable costumes was my dread costume that I made. I loved it and I hate wearing it. And my shredder, the same deal. I love that costume and I hate wearing it. It is the shredder. I kind of just decided to do my own take on it, and I wanted it to look like it was very kind of like old world militaristic almost. And I decided to make the whole, like, I don't know what it's called, but like I call them pajamas, but like the bodysuit that he wears. I decided to make that out of like a quilted material, and it's basically like wearing a blanket everywhere you go, you know. So I have to wear that all day, and like while it looks cool, I'm not comfortable. But I love the look of that thing. But in this one, I get to wear shorts and a short sleeve shirt, which is fantastic. So that'll be fun to actually be comfortable at a convention.
I see people giving like hot girls wearing bikinis that are kind of themed loosely around a character, and they're giving them a hard time saying, "Oh, you're just wearing a bikini, you're not really cosplaying." I think they are. I think they're doing it for a reason, because it gets damn warm at a convention. They're actually the smart ones.
Yeah.
Nothing worse having to walk around for 8 hours wearing quilts and leathers and all sorts of armor and foam. It's not healthy. It's hard work.
Yeah.
What's your dream build? I know you said that Peter Pan you made it since you were a kid. What's your dream like prop to make, or even a costume? If you had sort of no limitations, you had all the equipment you needed and all the money and all the time and all the staff and whatnot.
Honestly, it's probably something that almost any like nerd or maker wants. I really want a ZF1. That's what I really want. A ZF1. Do you know what that is? It's from that big like eggshell looking gun from Fifth Element.
Oh yes,
one that like opens up and it's got like a billion different things on it, and I know that there's this like crazy enormous thread on the RPF of like, I don't even know how many guys are trying to build that thing. I'm really not sure how many successful ones have been built. I know, like, I'm a fan of Tested, so I go and like I watch all their videos and stuff. I know Adam Savage is like building one, and he's been building it for like the past 12 years. You know, and it's just one of those things. Like, I'm not necessarily like Adam as far as, you know, how crazy like perfect my gun would need to be, like exactly like the one on screen, you know. But if I got it like probably 70% of what it's supposed to be, I would be more than ecstatic about it. Yeah, like look at that thing. It's ridiculous. How cool is that?
That's Prop Store one. So that's must be the
That's
screen.
the real deal. Yeah, Prop Store has one.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, it's the most ridiculous thing ever, and I really want one, like really bad. But that thing requires way more tools than what I have.
Yeah, there's a lot of work in that.
At my disposal, yeah. Like you need like mills and CNCs, and like you need an actual metal lathe, which I don't have. I have, and like honestly, if I were to make one, I could probably make one, but it would be all plastic. You know, it wouldn't be like made out of aluminum and that type of. I'd make it with what I could make it with, which would probably be more acceptable at a convention, I think, if I were to make it all out of plastic.
I can't imagine walking into an American con holding that.
Yeah, but
yellow tips on those.
Yeah, there's something way cooler about it being made out of metal. You know.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched Hellboy 2 nights ago. I've not seen it in quite a while. I remember the big glove. I can't remember the name. Glove. I don't know what it's called.
The right hand of doom.
No, that's Hellboy's hand. That's his big fist. So it's the glove that Rasputin uses to like get into
the mecha glove.
Yeah, but Adam Savage made one of those. Again, it took everything's like mask bulbs to cover some of the lights and everything. It's insane the amount of effort he put into it. You know, completely screen accurate. But yeah, he seems to like taking 10 years building props. Seems to be the number he goes for, which
yeah, I mean, like Adam is really like intense with the stuff that he really wants. You know, he wants it to be as perfect as possible.
Yeah.
You know, which there's nothing wrong with that at all. You know, it's not necessarily for me. Like I don't really have like a good enough, but I don't. Certain things I'm okay with if it's not made out of metal, but it's made out of plastic and it looks exactly the same. I mean, I'm cool with that.
Yep, I'm the same. I don't have 10 years to make a prop.
Yeah.
I'm going to just do take a quick break. I've gotten a couple of messages here on my phone. Bill Duran from Punish Props is watching, so thanks for tuning in for that. Bill, I think he's feeling a bit sad being back from his holiday in Florida. He's feeling the same blues I was feeling earlier in the week.
Like at Disneyland or something, right? He's like going to Disneyland or something, or Disney World.
He was in Florida. I don't know if he went to Disney World. He should if he was down that part of the world. Disneyland.
Yeah. You came here and you went to Disneyland.
Straight to Disneyland, all on my own. 33 years of age, don't care. And we've also got Eric Jones from Core Geek, who's tuning in. So he's saying hi. And there's some people watching. So if you have any questions for myself or Igor, mostly Igor, feel free to ask them on the Q&A app. And I'll see about getting them to the end. But what I wanted to know about was like, because Mr Pinski Props kind of happened by accident. It was a happy accident. Do you have like a plan? You know, do you have like a 1-year plan, 3-year plan, 5-year plan? Are you planning, and is it just take it as it comes, or have you got goals and aspirations with it?
I don't necessarily have like goals. Like honestly, as far as I'm concerned with this stuff, like I started doing this because I love to make stuff, and I don't necessarily want to get away from that part. The reason why I do it is because I am a fan, and at a certain point, I think it's possible to lose sight of that and start to do too much. You know, when I originally made this like my full-time job, there were times where I'm just like, why am I even doing this? Like where like I said, like if there is 1 week where I did not get an order, I'd feel like I'm not going to be able to pay my rent this month, you know? And at one point I really lost sight of why I did this in the first place. You know, like I started doing it because I love to do it. And, you know, for, I don't know, what's it been, like 12 years or something, I've been doing schooling, and I've been doing, like I went to university for biology, and I was studying science and the whole deal. And now I actually just got my first job as a nurse, and like I'm a registered nurse now. So I work at a hospital. And one thing that like it's kind of like a good and a bad thing for me in a way, like because when I'm working there, I'm itching to build, you know, but at the same time, kind of like that little paycheck is also helping me now build what I want to build again. You know, so my real plan is just to keep making what I want to make. And like, you know, I've never really made stuff just because people wanted me to make it. Like, it's cool when people commission you, that's totally cool. But I think my biggest plan for however long I'm going to be doing this, and I don't plan on stopping, by the way, for however long I plan on doing this, my biggest thing is I just want to build what I want to build. And if people still want to, you know, commission me for stuff, that's totally cool. If people want copies of the things that I make, that's totally cool too. But I think it's just my plan to just keep going the way that I've been going, and I'm pretty happy with where I'm at.
Awesome. my internet on this end, you started getting a little bit fuzzy through parts of that, so I hope it wasn't the same for everybody. But I kind of got the gist of what you're talking about, but hopefully it's okay. Yeah, because I know when I first started out, it was just because I wanted to make stuff, and then business was just totally different to making stuff. But yeah, the sort of the scene has kind of changed, and you needed to adapt and evolve it. And for a couple of years, I was just making stuff to pay bills, and I hated it. You know, I really, really despised some of the projects I was working on.
Yeah, been there.
Because I wanted to see the end products, you know. So you need to have that element. And I'm trying to. Okay, I'm getting some messages saying that everything came through clearly. Just my internet here. But yeah, the Q&A app isn't working for some reason. So that's a shame. Well, send me messages and I'll find them if you've got any questions for Igor.
Yeah, I've been getting like a lot of notifications over Twitter of like things coming through. I think that's it's coming through on Instagram too a little bit.
Oh, okay. I'm sure we'll find them. Strange. I heard that the Q&A wasn't working the last time I did it, but I was getting questions coming through, so hopefully it's not a major problem. But I'm not seeing any questions. Right. Anyway, back on track. Do you have any influences for you personally, or for the sort of stuff that you're doing, stuff that you're making, being creative?
Yeah.
Up to any influences whatsoever.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I do. Like, I don't know. I have a lot of influences. You know, I don't really know if I want to call them influence so much as inspiration. I really don't know. But you know, like the original reason why I started doing it was because I wanted to be a pirate. And then at one point I saw a picture on the internet of a Daft Punk helmet, and I really wanted one for myself too. So my original inspiration was the Grand Wizard, Harrison Cricks. He was one of my original inspirations, and if you can see on that top shelf there, I don't know if they're too bright or not, but there are two Daft Punk helmets up there. Yeah, it might be really bright, but yeah, he was one of them, and like honestly, my first thing was I wanted to copy everything that he was doing, because that was kind of like my little step by step on how to make stuff. And I did the same thing when I was watching Bill like 3D model. I followed him along, and then after a while I started applying those steps into shapes and things that I wanted to design that Bill hadn't made yet. And then I saw you changing up one of your Daft Punk helmets, and then I started rebuilding one of mine because it wasn't good enough anymore. And like really my biggest inspirations and my influences are my fellow builders. Like every time I see somebody else building something, it makes me want to go and build something. You know, that's probably like my biggest inspiration is my, you know, I feel like I can call all you guys my friends. Like I think that's pretty cool. Like most of us have never met each other, which is pretty insane that like we've never met each other. We talk on the internet, like each other's pictures, and honestly, like in my opinion, we inspire each other, or at least like I like to think that we do. And that's really where it comes from. Other than that, I don't like as far as like the media, I don't really care too much. Like the you know, it's never been that big of a deal to me, and like really like not a whole lot of movies come out anymore that I want to be that superhero, or I want to be that whatever. You know, excluding the new Star Wars, because that's the greatest film ever made, as far as I can. It was so awesome. Like I've never seen a Star Wars movie and gone, oh, I want to be, you know, I want to be like, I want to be a Jedi, or I want to be Darth Vader. I've never cared. Like, I haven't. I've seen all the movies. I love all the movies, for the most part. And then the seventh one came out, and like it's soon, like the defining moment where I was like, I'm gonna be Kylo Ren, was it was like that first scene where Poe shot at him and he just turned around and stopped the beam and just kept it there. And I'm just like, what did I just see? That's like, that was good. Like, that was really good, you know? So, and oddly enough, I don't know what it is. I usually tend to go for the villains. I don't know why. I'm usually the bad guy,
Yeah.
you know, like but it's more fun to be the bad guy. Like, it's so much more fun.
Who says that the Empire and the Sith are the bad guys anyway? It's just the Jedi spilling lies and propaganda.
For real, right?
They're the real enemy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got my theories about Jedis. I don't like them. Can't be trusted.
There's so many fan theories on all of the Star Wars stuff that you can.
I love fan theories. It just keeps them
going on for days. Like, there was one, I don't even remember what the theory was, but like, he started out the video saying that if you plan on seeing the 8th movie and you don't want it spoiled, don't watch this theory, because for sure it's correct. Like, he was just so adamant about, like, he's like, I figured it out. I know what the next movie is going to be about. I know everything about it. How is that possible? Like, how is it, like, how's that possible? You know, but he knew. So, you know, if you don't want it spoiled, don't watch the theory video that whoever posted. I don't remember who it was.
No, I don't mind. I don't like actual watching you know, updates about Star Wars, any movie I'm interested in. I don't want to know anything about it until I actually go see it, because I think the internet can ruin stuff. But fan theories for Star Wars, I will always watch them and read them and listen to them, because it's just a theory, and I love hearing what these people. And it's not like I just think, you know, a paragraph. They will write entire, you know, papers on what they think will happen, explain backstories and histories, and it's crazy the amount of effort that goes into it, and most of them are like absolutely watertight. I love it.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. I think this thing was like a 15-minute video just of him narrating what was going to happen in the next movie.
Yeah, I haven't looked at theories in a while. I might have a look at some new ones. There's been some really good ones. But I've had some questions come in, so I might get to them before we go to the last segment of the show. So, buddy John, who runs J Cosplay Props, are you familiar with him? J
Cosplay. I've heard of it. Like, I follow so many people, I just can't pull it out of my head right now. Do you have like a picture or anything?
I probably do, yeah. Let me ask the question, and then I'll pull up a picture for J Cosplay Props. So he's a prop artist, so he's asking what your favorite part of the build process is. For him, it's the first pull of a new helmet from a mold, or the final weathering process, which are two parts that I actually really agree with. But what's your favorite part of the entire process?
I have two parts. Like my first, probably the first part that I enjoy the most, which is, I don't know, maybe this is just me being a big kid, is like that last helmet that I just built, the robot helmet, where I had to go in to my computer and I had to make blueprints for it. So I made blueprints, and then I made a frame for it out of MDF. Filled the frame with foam, carved the foam down. And as soon as I looked at just the shape of foam, I was like, oh, that's correct. That's going to be the right helmet. Like, that's a really good, like, as soon as you see your, like, the first starting point to the build, and you know, like, for whatever reason, you look at it and you know, like, this is going to go my way. Like, I know it, you know, like that's a really good feeling, just having that shape. The other thing that I enjoy the most is after you're done with the build of the master, covering it in primer and seeing it all in the same color, and all the detail is there, and you're officially done making it. And now you can just focus on 2 days of sanding it, getting it smooth, and molding it. But there's those two spots, like building it and using your imagination to go, is this going to go right or not? And the second part is after it went your way and you have the model that you want. That's the other thing. Yeah. I think
little.
Yeah. Yeah. What about you? What's your favorite part?
This is Jay Cosplay Props here, so he does a lot of Fallout stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, he's definitely worth checking out. He's just built a workshop for himself in his back garden, which he's been doing for the last couple of months. So
Nice.
he's definitely worth a look there. Moments for me, I actually really enjoy claying up. I wouldn't say it's my favorite part of the process, but I think there's something really sort of relaxing and therapeutic just about spending a couple of hours with a block of clay and, you know, getting your perfect lines, perfect registration lines for a matrix mold. I really, really enjoy that kind of zen out. But yeah, I think that first successful cast out of a mold, because there's always that anxiety and that, God, did it work? Are the casts going to come out? Can I release it? There's always that stress. So the first time you pull a perfect cast and you're just like, yep, all that effort was worthwhile, because getting to a cast stage, you're kind of like, you're rolling downhill, doing the painting and the finishing. It's all relatively straightforward in comparison to sculpting a master and doing the mold and doing the first casting. So I think that would be my moment for sure. I think Jay had a follow-up question. Oh yeah, it was what, let me see, out of all the projects that you've done, and he compliments your many builds, he wants to know what did you learn the most from?
Wow. Okay. I mean, like I've said it before, but there's an addition now. So the thing that I learned, the project that helped me learn the most was 100% without a doubt my first Daft Punk helmet, for sure. Specifically because I spent somewhere around $1,000 and I learned 900 ways on how to not build a Daft Punk helmet. So for sure it had to be that one. I spent at least $1,000 making that thing, and I sold it for like just over 300 on eBay, you know. So it was a lesson that I paid for, and it was like the first time I'd ever built a prop, you know. I mean, it's a part of the costume, but you know, we kind of bunch everything together and call them all props now. But my first prop helmet, I guess, I built it using Pepakura, and I think I'm not sure. Like, I haven't done Pepakura since then, since my Daft Punk helmet build. And I think the guy that I got the model from was Dung Beetle.
Yep.
And he designed. This was before random access, so he designed the Tron helmet, which is basically the same helmet. So he designed that one, and I printed it, put it all together, and it was super crooked, and it weighed like 80 pounds, and it was, but by the time I was done with it, and it was terrible, but it was such a great learning process with that thing.
You did the whole fiberglassing it, and
I did all that stuff. Yeah, I did all that stuff. And then like later on, I figured out, so like, I'm not sure if I'm the first one to do it. I don't want to like necessarily take credit for it, but when I was getting ready to do my Dung Beetle helmet, when I was getting ready to do that, I looked up steps on how to do Pepakura helmets, right? So, you know, aside from cutting, folding, gluing, then you have to do, you know, you have to put fiberglass on the inside, you have to do Bondo on the outside and resin on the outside and all that stuff. And then after I started making helmet castings and that type of thing, I tried one more time with a Thomas helmet. I did a Pepakura for that, And instead of doing fiberglass on the inside, I slush cast resin inside of it. And I pretty much used that as my mold for the helmet. And that stiffened it up, and also it gave me a really good surface to work with. And it made it a lot lighter. The first one I ended up filling with Bondo resin mixed with Bondo, and it weighed like 100 pounds. It was so, so heavy. And that was that. But the rest of this stuff, every time I build something now, I figure out a new way to build things, you know, and how to use my tools to build things that my tools aren't made to build. So that's kind of interesting. So yeah, I guess I'm still learning, but if I had to say where I learned the most, it was on my first build. You still around, dude? I think Tom's gone.
Hello?
Oh, there he is.
Okay, I don't know if that was me or that was you or what happened, but everything just shut down on me. So I have no idea where we got cut off. But yeah, we're back.
Oh, dude, you should have seen it, man. I was making the people cry right there. Like it was.
I bet you were.
It was a heartfelt moment that you missed out on.
I bet you were crying thinking about doing pepakura.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. You know, I don't want to say never again, but who knows? Maybe never again, or maybe I will. I don't
know. No, I made before I started making Death Punk helmets. I made like the pepakura ones just to make it something to do in an evening, and I was like, there is absolutely no way in hell I am going to do these steps and go down that road. It just seemed like such hard work for such little return.
Honestly, I think the coolest thing, well, one of the coolest things that I've ever seen made is something that you made, and you made it out of paper. And I just I almost shit myself when I saw it. And it was that the reverse bear trap that's from Saw.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that thing was ridiculous. And it was made out of foam core. Like, come on, that's just.
Yeah, that kind of started the whole thing off.
Yeah, that was so awesome.
And that prop got stolen on me before I got to finish it. I was doing like the final weathering stage, and it just went missing. I never saw it again.
That sucks.
Yeah, I did spend like maybe about a year or two, maybe 2 years, like particularly around Halloween. I'd start like searching eBay and like searching forums and stuff to see if it would pop up. But no, some douchebags got that sitting at home. I hope we respect the effort that went in. He didn't just bin it after his Halloween outing, but. So I just had a message through. Apparently, it was just my end that went crazy. I think everybody saw your real heart.
There's nothing I have to say.
Yeah. I've got a handful of questions that I like to try and do as a kind of rapid fire, just to finish things off. Hopefully, we'll get a little bit of fun and banter out of you. So I'm just going to fire through them quickly, and let's see what kind of pops to your mind. If nothing pops into your mind, fair enough, we'll move on to the next one. But have you heard or seen any rumors about yourself since you kind of turned professional doing this and being a cosplayer in the public eye?
Rumors? No. Luckily, no. I really try to. I really try to keep my nose clean. Honestly, that's probably like, you know, rumors. Igor's a nice guy. He likes to help people out. That's probably, like, I haven't heard anything bad, and, you know, knock on wood, I don't. But yeah, I really try to keep my nose clean as far as like my business goes. You know, if anybody needs help, please ask. Like, it's fine. I don't mind answering questions. Like, it's not a thing. You know, we all like to share our progress. You know, I know you do too, and there's nothing wrong with that. So if anybody has questions, that's why we do this kind of stuff.
Awesome. Who have you recently discovered, whether or not they're new, but who's new to you that you think is like really shit hot, is doing awesome work at the moment, whether that's prop work or cosplay?
That's I don't know, that's kind of like, okay, well, Corgeek, honestly, like I am super impressed all the time with what I see out of that guy. It is ridiculous. The stuff that he does with foam now is like, I would never think like, oh yeah, I should do that out of foam. No, you know, but I see him like doing stuff that I would do out of like clay and molds and the whole thing. I mean, you know, they're one-offs, but they're gorgeous. You know,
Yeah.
like that's ridiculous. I a while ago I saw I saw this girl that was a cosplayer. She's in another country. She's not in the States. I think she goes by like NG Knight or something. I think is what she goes by. I recently saw her do Katrina's daggers, like full size out of Warbla, and they were super detailed and really, really clean and really nice. And like, she hasn't finished them yet, but they look like cast pieces and they're gorgeous.
I'll have to look her up.
Her for sure in Core Geek, definitely. Those two. Yeah.
Oh, here is Core Geek cosplay and creations. So I think Eric is watching, but yeah, he's currently working on Immortal Joe cosplay, which no doubt is
that belt is so awesome.
Amazing. So yeah, definitely if you've not checked out Eric and Corky cosplay and creations, go do it right now. And I'll have to look up what did you say, Angie Knight?
NG, I think it's like ENJI, I think, okay. Something like that.
I don't want to waste time searching for stuff, but I will search for that and it will be in the show notes below. And we'll have a look at that. What's been your best moments so far? Whether that's work related or just being at a convention or anything at all that's Mr. Pinski Props related.
Oh, Mr. Pinski Props related. Honestly, probably. I don't know. Well, there's the thing concerning my Daft Punk helmets that me and you talked about that I don't really want to put out there too much, but that was pretty cool.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah, but other than that, definitely when I got to meet Carl Urban, that was pretty awesome. Where I like just finished my Judge Dredd cosplay, and I went to Comic-Con. It was like 2 years ago or something. And I think he was there doing a signing for Star Trek. I think it was. Not 100%, but I think he was there doing a signing for Star Trek, and I just yelled out to him like, "Judge!" And he turned around, and like the look on his face was like, "Whoa!" And he's like, "Let's take a photo together." And I'm like, "Yeah, let's do it," you know. And we stood together, and I didn't realize he's way taller than me, and you know, which is weird. I'm very short for a judge. But he was standing right next to me, and like just before my buddy snaps the picture of us, he was like, "Make the face." You know, and like, and we both made the dread face, and like that to me, that was pretty awesome. You know, it was like one of those things, like kind of like coming full circle almost a little bit. You know, like I saw this thing, I made the costume, and then I met the dude himself. Like that was pretty cool. And before I finished my whole costume, I started out with the helmet, and I ended up getting one of my kits to somebody in Australia, and he took it to a convention where Carl Urban like held it and signed it for him, and they got like a picture of him holding like my build, like I built it in my backyard, and you know, Carl's holding the helmet, which was just insane to me. Like it's a super geeky thing, but whatever. It ended up working out that way. And also, I don't know if can you see? I don't know if you can see up there that I have the Black Ranger helmet up in the corner there, that Black Ranger helmet. So Walter Jones, like when I was a kid, Power Rangers were like, you know, that was a big deal to me. And I just did a full head to toe Black Ranger outfit, and I met Walter Jones at Comic-Con. That was pretty cool. He signed my helmet, and he signed my power axe. No, like that was the other thing. Nobody ever made a power axe either. I was like one of the first guys to actually ever make it. I made a full-size one, and he signed that for me, which is pretty cool. And you know, when I was cosplaying Black Ranger, I decided that I needed to have the Green Ranger shield, that gold one that he wears over his shoulders.
Yep.
So I made that, and then a little while later, this was really cool to me. That guy there, I don't know if you could see, the Green Ranger signed it for me. That was pretty cool. So like the coolest things I think about this is, you know, I originally started doing this stuff because I'm a fan of these things, and eventually you get to, if you're lucky, which I consider myself to be extremely lucky, you get to meet your childhood heroes, which is pretty damn cool. Like, you know, I think that's Carl Urban excluded, because, you know, I wasn't a kid when I saw him and, you know, him in Dread, but definitely the Black and the Green Ranger for sure. Like that's awesome to me.
Well, this kind of links on to my next question. If you had to choose 3 people, one to hang out with, one to collaborate with on a creative level, and one just to fangirl the fuck out over, who would those 3 people be?
Wow, that's something. All right, so one to hang with, one to work with, and then like a female cosplayer.
No, just one that you like. You know, you can't talk. You're all nervous and jittery and shaky that you're so excited to actually meet them in the flesh. I don't know. Is that an expression in America when you fangirl over something?
Yeah, I guess, but I think like we do like the fanboy thing here too. Like, you know, like I don't know.
I'm saying you're going to the next level where you're like a giggly little girl.
Yeah, I really like, but you're talking about more like cosplayers, though, right? Or people that build. Is that what you mean, or like anybody?
Sorry, I lost you there for a second. Repeat that.
Do you mean like cosplayers or like actors too?
Anybody. No, that's open to anybody. The collaborate one would be the sort of cosplay and prop one, but no, the hangout and the fangirl could be anybody.
Oh, okay. All right. So, like I've always wanted to hang out with Jim Carrey for sure. That's like my thing. Like, who wouldn't want to hang out with Jim Carrey? That would definitely be the way to go. Collaborate with shit. Like I really don't know if I could choose between everybody that I know, as far as like people that make stuff. Like, dude, I want to make stuff with everybody. You know, like honestly, like me and you, we got to hang out. What was it, like last week? And we like a lot of the same stuff. You know what I mean? And like that would be fun. You know, and like I know like you're good at building shit. Like I'd like to build stuff too. You know, and whatever. Like that would be cool. If I got to work with Bill, that would be cool. If I got to work with Harrison, that would be cool. If I got to work with anybody that I follow and respect, that would be awesome. Why not? You know, that would be super cool. Lately, like I've been kind of lucky. Like I've been meeting people in my area that are into cosplay, and they also like to make stuff, and they have different skill sets than I do. You know, so like when I was working with my buddy Chad, you know, I saw him make a Peter Pan outfit for himself. And I was like, you could really use a sword. And I've always wanted one. I'm like, how about I build you a sword and we trade? You know, and you make me my costume, I make you the sword, and, you know, let's do one of those things. And that ended up working out. There's like a couple other people that I'll be working with too. As far as like who I would just go kind of like weird over, there's already been one person that I went like really weird over, and it has nothing to do with cosplay at all. I'm not even like necessarily a fan, which is just weird. But when I saw him in the flesh, I could barely talk. It was just weird. And it was Mike Tyson. It was really weird. I got to meet Mike Tyson, and I didn't know what the hell to say to him. Like, it was so weird. And this was actually at the job that I ended up quitting. Before before my business, I ended up working retail for a while, and I sold sports equipment. And Mike Tyson came in and needed a treadmill. Like, this is what he needed. And I had to sell him a treadmill. And I could barely talk. It was the weirdest thing. I don't know why. I don't even watch boxing, but I knew who it was. You know what I mean? And it was weird. And where I had worked, I worked in Studio City, which is it's in the valley here. And Studio City, I guess, like a lot of celebrities live there, and it's right next to CBS Studios. And through my years of working there, like plenty of like famous people would walk through there, and it was never a big deal to me. Like, I was just like, oh, that's cool, you know, whatever. And then the day that Mike Tyson walks in, it was like, I don't know what happened, but it was weird to me. I was like, this is awesome. It's friggin' Mike Tyson. Like, of all things, Mike Tyson did it. I don't know.
Excellent.
Yeah.
I've not really had that. I can't say I've met any huge celebrities, but usually when we do bump into folk, I'm the person to go up and be like, hey, how's it going? Just casual, relax, chat to them, because they're just people, aren't they?
Yeah, for sure. When I worked at that store, one day Steve Carell came in, and he was just head to toe covered in khaki, just trying to blend into the rest of the world. You know? And like, because he's Steve Carell. He's awesome, right? So the only thing I try to do with that guy is just pretend like I didn't even know who he was. You know, like I totally knew it was Steve Carell, but I kind of felt like I saw him. He had his hat down, like just trying so people didn't know who he was. And I was just like, I'm just gonna treat him just like anybody else that came into the store. You know, so.
I reckon when you get to that level, having people just sort of give you your space must be quite refreshing, particularly getting harassed.
Yeah, well, I really wouldn't know what it would be like to be in their shoes.
Yeah, maybe someday, but I'm quite happy where I am right now.
Yeah, I'm doing okay.
I'm quite conscious of the time, and I have a funny feeling that we could go on for hours, because I know we spent a good few hours chatting when I was in California hanging with you. But I don't want this video to go on too long, and there's still stuff I want to know about you. So I'm hoping that at some point we can get you back on the show again and find out a bit more. But I don't know about you, but I thoroughly enjoyed that. And like I said, I've got a list of questions here that I could keep answering, but I don't want this video to turn out to be a 2 or 3 hour epic. So before we sign off, where can people find you? How are they best getting in contact with you? What's your chosen social media? And of course, there'll be links in the show notes below.
Yeah. Probably the easiest way. I don't know what it is, but not not my fan page for whatever reason. I don't know what Facebook has been doing lately, but not every message goes through all the time. And sometimes I'll just go and I have messages in my inbox that just never showed up on my phone for some reason. But I'm Mr Pinski Props on Facebook. You can find me there, facebook.com/MrPinskiProps, or you can find me on Etsy, which is also Mr Pinski Props. So I'm etsy.com/shop/MrPinskiProps on there, or you can just find me Mr Pinski on Instagram. Instagram, I'm a little bit mixed on there. Like sometimes I post random things that I see around my neighborhood. Sometimes random things from my life. Most of the time, though, it's pictures of my builds and how I build and stuff like that. And all 3 of those, you can send me messages and just ask me how to build stuff. Fine with that. If you want to buy one of my kits, that's cool too.
Yeah. Excellent. Well, I thoroughly enjoyed that. Thank you very much for joining me, Igor. We will have you on again at some point in the future. I'd like to thank the people who have tuned in. There's been quite a few watching today, and I hope you enjoyed it. And again, any sort of feedback or comments or constructive criticism is more than welcome. If you haven't already, it'd be great if you could check out my Patreon campaign, because through that I am getting to do more stuff just like this, making more videos, more awesome content, and making connections with awesome people like Igor. So until the next time, See you later. Thanks very much. Yeah, say something for the camera to go on you.
Oh, well, I just like kind of like I did one of these.
Okay, bye guys. Thanks very much.
Bye.
Sorry.